The Watcher Beneath the Well. Part 1. Ashcombe's Silence. No one truly arrived in Ashcombe by accident. B. It was a village so old that its records had been etched on stone tablets long since buried beneath moss and mud, be hidden deep within the woodlands of Yorkshire. Ashcombe was the kind of place where directions ended in vague gesture. Follow the twisted oak, they'd say. Turn when the crows stop singing. Martha Derren knew this well. A linguist by training and isolationist by nature. She'd come to Ashcombe, chasing only a whisper one single footnote. In a half-decayed manuscript, the eye sleeps beneath the earth, and the mouths above. Keep it closed. She thought it was myth or poetic metaphor, until she came across a crude map drawn centuries ago, with one symbol etched darker than the rest. A well marked with a single black circle, labeled only Vigil. When she arrived, she found it exactly where it was drawn. At the edge of the village, sealed with rusted iron bars and surrounded by rotted stones, bearing symbols that no villager could translate. Some claimed they'd never seen it before, though it had clearly been there for centuries. They avoided it. So naturally, she moved into the cottage beside it. A deepening silence from the moment Martha arrived. She felt a stillness that ran deeper than peace. It was the kind of silence that didn't wait for words. A hush that held its breath beneath the wind, under the soil, between the heartbeat and the blink. At night, she began to hear something faint, distant, like a voice buried beneath layers of earth. A murmuring lullaby in a language she had never heard, but somehow recognized. She recorded everything. The audio, when played back, distorted. The pitch bent. Profile time lengthened. What she heard with her ears was a whisper. What she heard in playback was something far more intricate, like a conversation not meant for her, but recorded just in case. The villagers became uneasy. Some refused to speak with her altogether. Others left gifts on her doorstep. Small bundles of herbs tied with black twine, or bowls of salt left without explanation. Boop. One old woman simply muttered, "Don't look into it." That's all it ever wanted. Martha didn't listen. The dream in earth. On the 7th night, she dreamed of falling, not through air, but through earth, drifting past fossilized roots, cracked bones, and finally into a space that wasn't a space at all. She floated there, suspended above a giant stone lid-like sarcophagus the size of a cathedral, with a single, unblinking eye etched into its surface. The eye twitched. She woke, choking on soil. Her bedsheets were smeared with dirt. When she returned to the well that morning, she found one of the iron bars bent outward, like something had pulled from within, and at the edge of the stone rim, someone or something had etched new markings. There were letters, but not from any alphabet she knew. The language of the buried days past. She stopped sleeping, not because she feared the dreams, but because she wanted to understand them. She copied the symbols, compared them, translated fragments. The eye sees in the dark. The voice is not sound. The first opening is memory. The village began to change. Children walked in circles at night, murmuring syllables they could not have known. Dogs refused to go near the well. Crows gathered on rooftops and did not move for days. And Martha began to feel watched, not by the villagers, not even by the thing in the well, but by the earth itself. It was a presence that coiled slowly, patiently, as if waiting for her to finish reading a sentence only it remembered. The descent begins. On the 11th night, she heard the voice clearly. Not a whisper, not a song, but a question. It spoke in her own voice. Will you remember me when the world forgets itself? She didn't answer aloud, but her hands moved. She lifted the iron grate with strength she didn't recognize. Beneath, a spiral staircase, carved into stone, descended far beyond the range of her flashlight. Breeze. The air rising from the depths was warm, moist, alive. At the first step, her recorder turned itself on. She whispered only 3 words. I'm going in. To be continued in part 2, Beneath the Eye.